It's the 1953 inauguration of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Look at that military equipment. We were way bigger on having military equipment display then than we are now, of course. I want this float. No, I mean seriously, I want that float with the aircraft carrier on it. Of course, here's Dwight himself. Of course, I'd love to have that car too. What a beauty. And here they are dropping confetti. Now, confetti is kind of an old tradition, started in the 14th century. Didn't really hit its mark until about the 1800s when they began using it on a regular basis. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 98% sure that these are West Point cadets. And as you can see by this, it was the time of the Westerns. It was such a popular theme in the 50s and into the 60s. It was a time of rawhide, Gunsmoke, Wagon Train, Have Gun Will Travel, The Maverick, and of course, The Lone Ranger, the masked man with his sidekick, Tonto. There are also the great movies, High Noon, Shane, Veracruz, not to mention the Duke himself, with movies such as The Hondo, Rio Grande, and The Horse Soldiers. And there's a float that's coming up that pretty much signifies some of Eisenhower's presidency. The man loved golf and apparently played over 800 days of golf. The man in that vehicle is Thomas Dewey, who was the governor of New York for almost a decade. He himself ran for the president in 1940, 1944, and then again against Truman in 1948, losing every time. And then we have a picture of the atom. We loved our nuclear weapons. And then we have Eisenhower himself getting lassoed by a cowboy. And the car coming up is none other than John Foster Dulles. He was the main architect in President Eisenhower's foreign policy. And, of course, the Secretary of State. I loved how the cameraman just photographed from the top of a sedan to get coverage of the event. All the tanks are interesting. Eisenhower was put in command of a new tank corps where he was promoted to lieutenant colonel in the National Army. He commanded the unit at Camp Colt, his first command. However, Eisenhower barely had the tanks to be able to carry out his mission. I personally think this White House float's kind of cool as well. And no parade would be complete without paying homage to our satellite program. We were in a frenzy with the satellite program because the Russians had launched Sputnik in 1957 and were the first to launch a satellite into outer space. And you can't have an inauguration without an inaugural ball. Eisenhower and his wife came out to greet the guests as they were dancing. If you like these short presidential videos, please hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for listening.